Welcome back to This Week in Baseball. We were talking about doing it This Week in Baseball. Welcome back to Three Ball Walk. Another week, another show, couple 15-minute segments. Looking forward to talking baseball. And we got some interesting stuff. A side of baseball that few people find out about. You read a lot in the papers about the bad things that people do, the suspensions, the drugs, and everything like that. And we wanted just to touch a little bit about the positive things in the community and the game. And we'll get to that in the second segment. And we were just talking about, let's just do a This Week in Baseball and just kind of talk about what's been going on and everything like that. And that's why I came in. I'm Julio, Bob, and Eddie, and we are back for another show. And I think I'll let you two defend yourselves, because for the first couple weeks we keep mentioning and talking about the Braves and everything like that. Now that the Braves' perfect season is over, now that they actually won a couple games and they're not going to go 0-162, let's stop talking about the Braves.
You got it. I'm fine.
That's fine.
I don't
Instead of the team just north of us, one of the teams south of us. I've had, you know me, and I don't get much sleep watching the Marlins late night against the Dodgers, 10 o'clock. Giancarlo's getting hot. Yep. D. Gordon's batting average in L.A. has gone from 249. I think he was hitting 281 by the end of the game. I mean, last night, 280. And
either he has not had very many hits, very many at-bats, or he had a really good night.
He's had three good nights, three real good nights. And then the guy that, and I never realized it. I mean, I know he was a first-round pick. I know everyone kind of, this is the prospect, his future's coming and everything like that. I know he's one of the most sought-after when they're looking at trade bait. But Christian Yelich, what?
He's really
I mean, what?
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
It doesn't hurt to have Stanton right behind you or right ahead of you.
Right behind you. You see a lot of fastballs.
You're going to get good pitches. So this is your time to shine right now, because you get traded, you get in the 4-hole, and all of a sudden they're not throwing to you
exposed
as many good pitches to hit. So you got to make hay when the sun shines.
Close to 400, 7-8 game batting streak. I mean, just he can run, he can play defense, and he's the real deal.
He's good. Yeah, he's real good. And I don't watch him anymore.
Well, that means he'll play in Miami for 1 year, and then he'll be gone.
He's already been there 3.
Well, then he's done, because he's at the end of his contract, right?
What about Stanton?
Well, Stanton's the one exception to the rule that they'll keep because of the pull from the Latin community, and just you got to have one guy. But until Stanton decides, hey, I want to try to win again.
Jose Fernandez? Can that team win?
Now?
Yeah.
I think they can compete. I think they have a solid team. I like Fernandez a lot. I'm a huge Giancarlo Stanton fan, or as Vince Scully said, how Vince Scully
Giovanni.
Giovanni.
And he's now up to bat Giovanni Stanton. And you felt, and anyone else says that, it would be blasted on every highlight and everything. With Vince Scully, not only do you not make fun of it, but Giancarlo probably is considering maybe changing his name to Giovanni, because
it's like the most interesting announcer in the world calls you the wrong name. You go by that name.
That's it. For the rest of, he changed his name from Mike. He changed his name from Mike to Giancarlo once. Might as well be Giovanni.
What the heck?
Why not be Giovanni? I mean, that even sounds more exotic than.
That was on one home run, and then the next night when he hit the home run, all Vinny said was Stanton, Stanton, Stanton. Didn't even mention the first name.
Well, yeah, because he didn't know it at that point, so it's better to just let it go.
He really, I mean, you look at Bryce Harper and Mike Trout, I mean, which are the two names I think most associated with Stanton. And as a Braves fan, you know, Freddie Freeman, who is an outstanding player, but I think Stanton is just a cut above even Trout and Harper myself.
He hits bombs. Did you see the warm up, the batting practice home run he hit out in San Francisco?
No.
It cleared the park. It one-hopped the parking lot.
Well,
it left the complete yard, all the stadium, all the seats, over the facade, bounced, and then went in the parking lot.
Yeah,
that was batting practice.
He hit a ball out of Dodger Stadium last year, and his thing is, and Bryce Harper, in a way, until last year when he won the MVP, kind of a little bit of the same thing is, but Stanton more so than anyone is the injury. He's got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy.
And he had an MVP a couple years ago, lost because he didn't play the last month of the season. This year, I was looking at, they were showing numbers of April, always a slow starter, and then once April ends and May starts, he gets on his little roll, and he's on that right now, and it's fun to watch. And then And then the hottest team in baseball, the best record, Chicago.
Which one?
That's the point.
Exactly
Everyone,
right.
It's not the Cubs.
Exactly
It's
right.
the White Sox.
Both of them are having pretty good starts to the year. So if you're a Chicago fan, you got to feel good about life in the Windy City right now. Hopefully it'll continue because that'll be a good story all year long.
Well, we were talking about Clayton Kershaw and the first time on the Marlins 2 nights ago, which ended with Giancarlo's. He takes a 1-hit 3-0 shutout into the 6th and gets 1 out, and 5 batters later, losing 5-3 with Giancarlo's home run. And first time in his career he had ever given up hits to 5 consecutive batters. 9 years, amazing. 5 consecutive batters got hits, and
I wonder how many other pitchers that's happened to. We need the Live Sports Bureau to look it up, and then we would know.
But my point, the reason I'm bringing them up, because then all of a sudden after that, the discussion has been Arrieta or Kershaw, boom, boom, boom. Talking about Arrieta's one of, you can sit there, Arrieta's one of the 2 best pitchers right now in the National League. Arrieta's one of the 2 best pitchers in Chicago because Chris Sale can fly out. Awesome. Okay, I mean, and I don't see where he's.
Let's see.
He's a Florida Gulf Coast kid.
Yeah, let's see how long they can continue. I think anybody can get hot at the beginning of the season when it's fresh and your arm's fresh and the batters are still kind of catching up. Again, it goes back to what we talked about in spring training. I don't think the guys are getting enough at bats in spring training to be ready to go when the season starts. And while some people say you can't lose a pennant in April, I say bullcrap to that because every game counts.
Every game counts.
So every game in April counts just as much as a game in September. So if you get off to a slow start, you're behind the 8 ball just as much as if you hit a slump and the last part of the season could cost you the pennant.
That's a good thing, and that's an interesting note. And I see the pitchers. I see you can't come out there in your first start in spring training and go 7 innings. And you go 2 innings in your first start, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. And those are your 5 starts in spring training. And then you're ready to go 7, 8, when the season starts. And you gradually progress. But batters, hitting is repetition. What does the first 3 weeks of spring training getting 1 at-bat or 2 at-bats do for you?
Or even taking BP, it's a swing, get your swing down, but not live pitching. And that live pitch, I don't think you can replicate game speed pitching. Anyway, so
no, but it's a great point. Until the last week of spring training,
guys don't play.
You get 4 at-bats the last week.
Yeah, and so I think it takes them a while to catch up. You talked about Stanton usually getting off to a slow start and then catching up. I think that's part of it. I think power hitters have a little bit longer swing. Takes a little bit longer for them than guys who are single hitters to get
and I wonder one thing too, as a player evolves in his career, and especially as he begins to wind down, if in spring training, if they hadn't taken more at bats, maybe you'd see the progression not be so steep. You look at a guy like Stanton right now, or Harper or Trout, who crushed the ball. If they, in spring training, got more at-bats, especially as they got older, would you not see that much of a drop-off? Because, like you said, I don't even think about going to a spring training game until the last 2 weeks of the spring training schedule because I want to see the guy play.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, talking about hitting, we were discussing prior to starting recording the comment made last night.
Mm-hmm. But my girlfriend and I, Amy, we were watching the Yankees and Rangers game, and the Rangers put a shift on for the Yankees. Or no, the Yankees put a shift on for the Rangers, sorry. And Amy asked, why doesn't the guy go the opposite way? And it's not easy. And she made a good point. It's not like golf where you can, the ball's stationary. The guy is throwing the ball. And Sabathia came inside on the guy like 4 times and walked the guy instead of the guy having a chance. But what do you guys think about the shift? I mean...
Well, I think as a hitter, number one, if they're going to play that way,
right,
then if you're a home run hitter, you still take your hacks. But if you're a guy,
you can't put anyone on the other side of the fence.
No, you can't. That's illegal. No. We talked about that in the rules. You can't. You got to be stationed in fair territory.
Only the catcher.
Only the catcher can be in foul territory.
Yep.
So yeah, you wouldn't be that. But if you're not a home run hitter, if you're a line drive hitter, I think in certain situations you go up there and you look for something outside, and you just guide it through the opposite side.
But then that leads to the point: is who are they doing the shifts for mainly? Or the big power
They're doing the power hitters, and the pitchers are going to throw inside, which to me seems a little bit.
You're counting on the pitcher making the pitch.
And that's what Sabathia didn't do last night in that situation.
Well, he did. He did.
He kept it inside.
He kept it inside.
Oh, exactly right.
You don't want to leave one over the outer third where a guy's going to be able to go the other way. I mean, if the ball's inside, it's very difficult to try to keep your hands inside of it and flare one out to the other side.
But you're not shifting for Rod Carew or Wade Boggs.
No, you're not. You're not shifting for a good bat guy. You're shifting for a bomber.
Right.
Yeah.
A guy who yanks everything, who likes to turn on every ball, and so you know that. My only thing is if you miss just a little bit over the plate, aren't you feeding in to that hitter's power zone anyway?
Right.
I mean, you're counting on the pitcher throwing the ball in a very narrow window, inside, off the plate, or barely on the black every pitch, so that if he tries to pull it,
one of the things that the commission was talking about in the off season back, and we talked a little bit about the DH and that got canned real quick, but one of the things they were talking about was making the shift illegal, creating offense by doing that. And I'm thinking, what do? Do you paint a little circle and the second baseman has to, or big circle?
Yeah. Well, Girardi said that last night.
Yeah.
Girardi said if he was the commissioner, he'd make it illegal, and that pretty sure the rule was set for have 2 guys on one side and 2 guys on the other side. But the rule's not that way. The rule is you can defend the field. So if you wanted to put all your guys on the infield,
which you do,
you can.
A lot of times in the 9th inning, a fly ball is going to kill you. Joe Madden, who's probably the king of the shifts, he would always play the 5 infielders.
Or even 6. I've seen him one time with 6.
And Girardi, as you should have stated, the Yankees are in the top 5 of using the shift. So, I mean, it's
that makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all. So it's like,
well, he's in New York. So, you don't have to make sense.
But when you use the shift, one thing I was trying, like you guys talked about, if the ball's outside, Ted Williams, who, Boston Mason's greatest hitter who ever lived, he said in a documentary I saw about him, Lou Boudreaux did the shift. He was one of the first players I guess they did the shift for that we know about. He wouldn't go the other way, and they asked him why not, because he tried to just slam the ball through. He develops bad habits.
It develops bad
habits. So I'm not going to do that. And he would never go the opposite. And when he could have gone the opposite way, maybe got a single and scored a run or moved the guy up, wouldn't do it. And
well, again, that depends on the pitch. To develop a bad habit of trying to take an inside pitch to the opposite field.
I agree. Yeah, right.
So if a pitcher missed out, I guarantee you Williams would have line drive to one hopper to the left fielder. But again, it depends on your pitching, and that's why you get the big leagues. You can do that, but it's no different than playing a nickel defense on 3rd down in the NFL. They're going to throw the ball, so why would you not play more defensive backs?
When we were 7 years when my son was 7 years old playing machine pitch, we played a team that killed us really bad the first time we played them, and pulling the ball, because basically set the machine up to throw inside, and he had taught each kid to hit the ball to the left side of the infield, just shots down the thing, and they're finding holes. And oftentimes when one of those fielders fields the ball, it's a long throw across the infield. If you ground it to the second baseman, good chance you're going to make an out. Mm-hmm. So he had taught the kids, how to pull the ball. And the second time we played him, I put my son, who was the first baseman, at second base, and I put 3 guys. I played with no right fielder. I had 2 outfielders. The right fielder came and played first, and the first baseman was playing right on the bag pretty much, and then I had 3 infielders there. They couldn't hit the ball. They tried to hit the ball the other way, but they hadn't been taught that in practice, and it worked. And that's the shift at the age of 7. I mean, wow. Imagine that. But hey, we're going to kind of wrap up this segment. And one of the things, we're getting a few comments, and I appreciate you guys following us on Facebook and everything. What do you feel about the shift? I think that's an interesting thing. Comment on it and everything like that. And Bob, you had something to share right before.
Yeah, May 7th in Mandarin at the Ramada Inn, Jacksonville Sports Cards monthly baseball card show. I'll be there. There's a lot of great dealers, a lot of nice people. So if you like sports memorabilia, baseball cards, come out and check it out. It's a wonderful time. It'll be May 7th at the Ramada in Mandarin from 9 to 3.
9 to 3. During the day. Come out and see Bob. Get you a good deal.
I'll be there.
Tell him you saw it on 3-Ball Walk. He'll give you a discount.
I'll give you a deal.
Have a great day. Play ball. We'll be back for the second segment.